apple? Maybe the color red or this bruise right here. Well, what I see is that according to the USDA, this apple has 95 calories. This apple has 18 grams of sugar and 0.3 grams of fat, 25 grams of carbs. That's how my brain works. Today I'm going to do something that I never thought I would do. Today I'm going to tell you my story, and my real story, not the story you see in conversations when we pass in the hallways, or what you think you know about me. And I'm not going to tell you for pity or attention. I'm going to tell you so I can maybe inspire one of you to just, for a second, rethink the way you're living your life. I remember every single detail about the first night I purged. I came home from volleyball practice, I got in the shower after I'd eaten a bowl of Apple Jacks, and I shoved my fingers so far in the back of my throat that I puked. And I liked it. It was like I was in control again, because I didn't have any control over anything else in 8th grade. You don't. You can't drive. There's nothing you have control about. And those feelings consumed me so much that I needed to control something. I needed to change something about my life that I could do. So one night, after I tried for hours and hours gagging with the shower running, I walked downstairs with my head held low and walked into my mom's room and I said, "Mom, I have a problem. Mom, I need help. I need you to help me." And the next morning I woke up and I didn't get that help. I woke up for the next 2 years every morning and it was like nothing had happened. I was in a haze that was depression and I had no idea that I was living through it. So 2 years later, it's 2020, COVID's hitting, I had more of these feelings of I wasn't in control anymore, and those feelings, those thoughts of that I needed to control something, they came back. And they came back harder than they had ever come back before. And I walked down to my mom's room again and I said, "Mom, I need help. Mom, help me." And on June 16th, 2020, I was referred to the eating disorder clinic in Fargo, North Dakota. And it was the worst place I had ever been in my entire life. It was awful. And because I was so bound and determined to get better, and so bound and determined that I needed help and wanted to get better so bad, that I put this pressure on myself that led to anxiety attack after anxiety attack, and I was living in absolute hell. It was like I had less control than in the beginning, because I had no control over when this anxiety would come over me. I had no control over any of it. So then, after a fall filled of just anxiety attack after anxiety attack that I couldn't control, and everyone around me saw me struggling so hard, and still we had no idea what to do. How do you help someone that doesn't even know what's wrong with themselves? How do I help myself when I don't know what's wrong? You can't solve a problem if you don't know what the problem is. So finally, we all put our heads together, everybody that cared about me, and we said, okay, I need to do something different. The eating disorder clinic didn't work. Us ignoring it didn't work. We need something. And on October 14th, my life finally started to change. On October 14th, I had my first appointment with my new and current therapist, and her name is Jessie. And Jessie saved me. And as I say those words out loud, I can hear her voice in my head saying, "Mara, I didn't do anything. Mara, I didn't do anything for you, but give you the tools you needed to save yourself, for you to feel like you were in control." She also made me realize that I wasn't the issue, I was sick. I have a disease, and that disease is called depression. And looking at me in the hallways, would you ever think it? No, I smile, I'm happy, and I put this mask on every day so that all of you don't know what's going on in my head. And today, I'm standing in front of you, and I'm taking that mask off, literally and figuratively. I'm showing you the real me, and it's hard, but it's me taking a step, it's me taking control, taking ownership of my emotions, and I needed that to happen, and I continue to do that because I need to. This spring, I let my depression win. When I have these depressive episodes that push everyone away from me, I'm awful to them, I'm mean, I'm hurtful, and it's like I'm testing them. How awful can I be to you and you'll still come back to me? How bad can I be and you'll still love me? And it's a test that I put myself through, and this spring I tested someone too far. I pushed them farther than I've ever pushed anybody before, and they left, and they didn't come back. And at that point, I said to myself, Mara, change. Mara, put the work in. And at that point, I decided that I needed to take more ownership than I already was. And from the very beginning of my journey, I've always said I don't want to go into medication. Because this stereotype around medication for me is that I was accepting the fact that I had a problem. I was accepting defeat against this illness. But why are we treating depression anything like an illness other than anything else? It's an illness. When you have a cold, you treat yourself with ibuprofen, whatever. So when you have depression, you treat yourself. But in my head, that wasn't right. The American Psychiatric Association actually defines depression as a medical illness that negatively affects how you think, the way you act, and how you feel. It's a medical illness. So why in my head was I not ready to go on medication? Because it was accepting the fact that I had a problem. But now after 8 months of therapy, losing people that I cared about, I realized that, yeah, it's me. I have the problem. So what am I going to do to actively fix that? And on May 15th, I have an appointment with a psychiatrist. And on May 15th, I start to take control again. And it's hard. And if you haven't been listening, which I think all of you have, but if you haven't been listening, this is the why I'm standing in front of you today, is if you feel the way I do, if you think about that apple the way I do, tell somebody, get some help. Your life can be so much better. You don't have to worry about how many calories are in that apple anymore. You can eat, you can enjoy life, you can be around people and go out to supper and not watch and monitor how much they're eating while you eat so you don't look like you're eating faster than them and you don't care about that anymore. You're nourishing your body, you're having food come into you to nourish you. That's what food is. And it's hard. It's really, really hard to tell somebody, but it's even harder to go through life the way that I have been. And yeah, it's really hard, but once you do it, your life gets a hell of a lot easier.